So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another album review of the Chill Dude on a couch. Today, we're talking about the new Sleep Token album, Even in Arcadia. And just like when we talked about the previous album, we're doing it ASMR style. And this time, I have light triggers. Look at the light. Focus on my voice. And let's talk about Sleep Token. So this album is 10 tracks, 56 minutes in length, and Sleep Token are still blending different genres. There's R&B, there's electronics, there's obviously some rock and a little bit of metal in some parts. Bessel is doing the type of singing that he's always done. And when I saw the album title, I thought the name Even in Arcadia is interesting. So I did a search of what that meant. Because Arcadia, there's two things. There's a place in Greece, ancient Greece, that is like very beautiful, and when you see the album and the pictures and everything, the album cover, it looks like a very serene and beautiful place full of nature. So the meaning, it represents a vision of an idyllic place and a harmonious state with nature. So this is like living in a place that's untouched, that is beautiful. And that is something that it's really interesting about the album. So the tracks, are, I think, they had 3 singles that they released. There was Emergence. There was also the song Caramel and Damocles. Each had different things. For example, Emergence had a more sensuous vibe where he's kind of like, don't put your arms around me, your arms around me. And then it goes into that more decente style of music. So Emergence was a great first single because it has all those things that are pretty much known and categorized with Sleep Token. The second single, Caramel, did more experimentation. There's a beat on that track that is a little bit of reggaeton beat with some R&B, and I hear that and I felt like dancing. And that song, I like it that then it goes more aggressive, and the lyric was just like, stick to me like caramel. So Sleep Token really know how to write songs basically for women, because they're very sensual. And yes, maybe some metalheads, if you want to listen to Cannibal Corpse, if that's your thing, Sleep Token is not for you. So Damocles, the other track, focus on me, not on the light. The first time I heard Damocles, I thought it was the weakest track of the singles that they released, but listening to it now more, it's grown on me, and I really enjoyed it more. Especially because I listened to this album 6 times today to prepare for the album review because I thought it was more of a grower and I wanted to give an honest opinion without being biased. One of the listens, I listened to the album right here on this couch with my girlfriend, and Damocles was her favorite track from the record. And she told me why she loved it. You know, she's like, you know, she liked the voice, she liked there's a arrangement that when I talked to it, I thought it sounded like an old Ricky Martin song. So that was her favorite track, and it's grown on me. You know, at first I thought that it was really simple, but it's more at the ending of the album, so it serves a purpose. So what about the other tracks on this here album? So the album starts with Look to Windward, and that is almost like a 7.5-minute track. And you know, it has a lot of moments of beauty mixed with more aggressive things, and I thought that it was a great album opener. I really enjoyed it. I thought it really gave, you know, it made me excited to listen to what they have to bring next on this record. So what other tracks comes next? So I already talked about the second track, Emergence, but after that you have a third track called Past Self. And Past Self is more of a R&B hypnotic beat type of track. Bessel does something with his voice that it's not quite rap, but it has like that tone of like he's doing like a rap, but it's not like a hip hop beat maybe with his style. I do think that they use something to tweak his voice in some parts, but I thought it, you know, it was a good track. It reminded me a little bit of something that they did on their previous album, so maybe like Aqua Regia. So it's I like that track. The fourth track, Dangerous, that one has some like electronic sounds that really make you feel like you are like watching those cherry blossoms. Like it has like a Japanese like vibe to the songs. And then it has more of a DJND part, and it has those sexy vibes because Sleep Token always has some sexy vibes to them. So obviously I already talked about Caramel, great track. The sixth track is called Even in Arcadia, the title track, and that one is more of a soft piano track. I think you focus on the piano and Bessel's voice. More to the end, they bring some violins to add, you know, a different like flavor, and they add different instruments. For example, I didn't mention, but on Emergence, they end with a sexy ass saxophone that really brings that sexiness. I'm telling you, this is an album like this came out this Friday. So if you want to have sex with your significant other, put Sleep Token, because if you put Behemoth, you are not getting anything, my friends. But Sleep Token, it's made for the ladies, and I like it. So yeah, it's not like super metal, but I like different genres. So I like how they blend genres in a way that make it work. So after Even in Arcadia, you have a few more songs, including Provider, which is a track that he's like, I want to be your provider. So he's like, I want to do everything for you. And who doesn't want to listen to that? And it's another sexy track. And it has then more like the genty vibes where it keeps getting a little bit more harder as it goes. The last two tracks on the record to me are probably my favorite because those two tracks really bring on the experimentation. I'm going to leave the light over here, but focus on me, not on the light. Focus on me, not on the light. So the last two tracks is Gethsemane and Infinite Baths. So what these two tracks have in common is that I think they're the tracks beside Caramel that has most of the changes in music and experimentation. For example, Gethsemane, this song has many changes in tone, has a great guitar part, like very like a technical part. It sounded like I was actually surprised. And then it gets more aggressive, more cool sounding, the genty sound. And the drums on that track are really good. The last track on the record, Infinite Baths, is the longest track on the record at 8.5 minutes. And this song can be described in two halves. The first half of the song is more beautiful. Bessel sings in a beautiful, like hopeful tone, like he sings his heart out. And it's a very romantic song. But the second half of the track is the most metal on this album, and there's screams and more like super fast like drumming and more screechy guitars to end this record. And I like it because I think it ends the record on a high or very like incredible like finish. So this album has a great starter and a great closer, and it keeps you engaged all the way because they know how to change the pace. And even though it's almost an hour in length, I was never bored with this record. It really kept me engaged, and I think that's something that Bessel really makes through is the emotion. You don't have to be super heavy all the time, but heavy emotionally is something that this album does. So the verdict is, I like this album. With each listen, I found more things that I liked. So I listened to it 6 times, and every time I listen to something different. I listen to it in the car. I listen to it with headphones. I listen to it just chilling with my girlfriend. And I wanted to see her reaction because she is not into metal. And she said, I like this album. I like Sleep Token. And that's what I think Sleep Token does. Sleep Token is a band that people that don't listen to metal can like. And that's why they get out. Like true metalheads get like, no, this isn't metal. Let people enjoy music. Nobody gives a shit. So, yeah, I really love how they blend the genres, and I hope you liked this ASMR album review. So, it's Sunday, it's Mother's Day night, so I want to wish any coucher that's a mother a happy Mother's Day. And I hope that you have a a very good Mother's Night, because every Mother's Day needs a Mother's Night. So, until next time, follow the light. This Hector, the shield on a couch, and I'll see you right